Even in an emergency, don't eat fragments of silicon.
All right, welcome to another installment of Fragments of Silicon. I'm your host, Adam. Joining me as always, our Galax and Petty fan, the lollygags of the show.
Okay,
Oh.
sure, whatever.
I don't like to think of myself as a lollygag.
Look, I'm not putting much effort into it this week because we don't have a guest.
Fair, I guess.
Anyway, let's get to the news. Galax, why don't we start off with you this week?
It's raining, it's pouring, and I kind of feel like snoring. Otherwise, it's pretty uneventful, I guess. No MS Saga this past weekend because of Mac had personal issues, but we're looking to probably have it this weekend, so that'll be good. It was nice to have some extra time to finish up a dungeon in Pathfinder anyway. Fighting final bosses sometimes gets time consuming, or, dungeon bosses. I don't know. I feel like I haven't had as much time for video gaming this week as I usually like to try to, but yeah, still gonna make some time to play the games for this week before review time. I think that's about it.
All right, Petty, here we go.
Fairly uneventful week so far. I ordered my custom playmat for Digimon over the weekend and it shipped out, so that's nifty.
What design are you going for?
I had a Lunamon design commissioned.
Okay.
So hope that should show up Monday. Hopefully it shows up Saturday, because then I can use it for the tournament on Sunday, but we'll find out. And also kind of getting hyped for the BT6 release of the Digimon card game in like a couple weeks.
Still hoping my game shop will be able to have in-person events sometime.
Yeah. And yes.
The reason they can't is they're doing renovations.
Yeah. And our store is also now an official tournament store. So once they figure out how everything works out logistically, we could potentially earn an invite to the World Championship Series for the Digimon card games. That's freaking awesome. And as far as gaming goes, still been playing Sonic Killers. They had a patch come out like last night, but supposedly it was only really to make sure the seizure-inducing bug doesn't happen. So I guess
that's still an improvement.
Yeah, it's good that people don't have a seizure while playing game. And so yeah, it's at least I kind of wish they did a little bit more better optimizing with the patch, because there are still times when you use the boost and the frame rate chugs to a crawl.
But I thought you were supposed to use the boost to get through.
Yes. So yeah, that's hopefully something that gets sorted out relatively soonish. And Luna's been doing a lot better since we started her medication. She's getting up and walking a lot more and wanting to yell at people. So, hooray. And yeah,
sure. Nothing.
And I think that's it from me.
All right, I guess it's my go. Let's see. I guess the biggest news is not anything that happened in the real space, but the lack of a guest. Um, yeah, so got an email on Tuesday about from the PR people stating that our guests that were slated for the week had to drop out due to a quote unquote gag order about their game, which did
Which
not.
is usually more politely referred to as an NDA.
Yeah, like, like, which is curious, but like, I will note when I first made the arrangement, it was during a period where they were talking about the game in very fuzzy terms, let's say. Now, it was mostly a legacy thing because Ken Williams, was the head of Sierra Online for a good chunk of time, among other things. But this was kind of what I was worried about with this interview because the game is literally titled The Secret, and it has nothing to do with notebooks or whatever the fuck that thing was. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it, but
we'd like to promote our game, The Secret. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to talk about it.
That's more or less how it came along. I'm like, in the actual interviews, like the only thing that I could say was it was being worked on in VR. But I mean, The Secret isn't the actual name of the game. The Secret is called that because it's a literal secret. So, yeah, wasn't surprised that I got this letter. It's what I was worried about, especially since as I was doing my research, I'm like, okay, how much of this game are we actually going to be talking about? Because, keep in mind the legacy stuff is going to be nice, but ostensibly we are here.
What platform will your game be releasing on? One or more platforms.
I mean, that one would
What
be
genre does it fit into? At least one genre.
Well, to be fair, platforms and such would be easier to discern because VR.
I know,
but yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about here. Which, yeah, so wasn't exactly too teary-eyed at the thing getting. It's not canceled. It's just been delayed indefinitely until such a time as they can actually speak about the game. I've been assured by the PR folks that, once they're able to talk about the game, they'll be on the show to talk about the game. Not the first time this has happened.
Probably not going to be the last.
No. But, it's the problem with it popping up a day before the show starts is, doesn't leave you a lot of time to find someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of concerned about next week's interview because that's an interview that's already been delayed twice, maybe 3 times, and I really don't want that to happen again. But we'll see how next week works out. So, given that we have no guest, it's another round of 80 days.
That sounds like a segue to me.
When we last left our, let's say, protagonists, we were at least 11 days beyond overdue and on our way to San Francisco. Or we just got there, one or the other.
Right.
Let me get everything back situated. I totally wasn't distracted. You can't prove anything.
Right. No, wait, we were on our way to New Orleans. I forgot.
Yeah, we are in New Orleans right now.
Yeah. And
I think we got everything we wanted here. I think we're getting ready to move out.
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, we're heading to Atlanta.
To Washington via Atlanta, yes.
Yeah. I'm like,
if we can manage it, yeah.
I'm just.
All right, so yeah, that's tomorrow.
New York is under the effects of, to paraphrase, some gangs of New York bullshit. So it is a silly place.
Yes, I'm sure.
Death?
Apparently.
Don't throw your drink in his face.
Yeah,
That'll just make him
that's a
mad.
good way to get killed.
Like,
Though we are fucking crazy, so
so drinks to face.
sure, fuck it, why not? What do we got to lose?
Not a whole lot, if I'm being honest. Not at this stage. Now we're already 12 days late.
Yeah. You gave me a fright.
I
We'll say
mean,
that's why it was. It's a.
if that's the worst, he's getting off. They're getting off lucky,
Especially in New Orleans.
especially with us.
To be so clearly desired by death was unnerving.
I mean, is it though?
Hmm.
Not that.
Stop that.
We're not racist, just crazy.
Eh, that's the 19th century. I'm going. He's probably racist.
Uh-huh.
Well, we survived another night.
Mm-hmm. Looks like.
Now, was there an option to choose? There wasn't an option to choose Washington, just Atlanta.
Yeah, I have to go to Atlanta first, then to Washington.
Yeah. Remember?
Okay, I wasn't sure because remember on the road to not here, but the big transcontinental one, there was a you had to make the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly a bold claim, or what could be better?
Hardly a bold claim.
Hardly a bold claim because all of the other ones are suck.
Are we there yet?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, even if it takes a little bit. Who had grown into something the size of a warehouse building. We may exaggerate slightly.
Yeah. Like, okay, if this guy is green, like,
I don't think he's green. I think he's just,
Large.
yeah, large.
I'm still betting he likes to smash things and people.
We'll
No,
find
he's-
out.
Well, he is from Birmingham, he says, making a joke that's completely agnostic of Birmingham.
Probably.
I like the
Let's-
warehouse one best, but that's
Yeah.
just me.
Let's go with impressively sculpted because once again, this is probably not a bruiser to insult. Like, where he's going because we're not going to New Orleans. We're leaving New Orleans. Like,
Oh boy.
I could see he was most likely a excellent boxer.
Remember, you're French, not British.
Bullet. Wait, no, hold on.
I don't think anyone here can speak with a French accent.
I sat back and enjoyed the conversation.
I got a manager. He tells me what to hit. Yep, that's about the brain level I was expecting here. I sat back and enjoyed the conversation. Like, look, this is a guy you let do whatever the fuck he wants.
so the manager doesn't tell you to hit
Well,
him to hit you.
the surprise here is that Mr. Fogg is interested.
Hmm. A ruffian sport for certain. Like, I think this would have been around the time that the rules for modern day boxing were codified. You know, Queens of Marksbury and all that.
Alrighty.
Other way around.
Hmm.
So we want to go.
Marquess of Queensbury.
So we want to go to Washington, then take a boat.
If they have one.
That does seem to be the plan.
Are we?
Where did that come from?
This line's coming from Washington,
Yeah. That'll be good.
and then we should be able to get back to at least Europe with that, and then to London.
Well, we're hitting Portugal, so still a bit of ways away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's sort of the general European area.
All right.
Yeah,
We
well,
can
yeah.
sleep. And then I'll check the market, see if we have anything to sell, or that will sell well.
Had you could say that, like
The Civil War had plainly left its mark.
I mean, I'm wondering, like from the sound of things, it's actually like less of a mark than reality. You know, fucking Sherman's March to the Sea. Like, yeah, Atlanta got the shit knocked out of it.
To put it lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. So, do we want to go with the Civil War plainly left its mark then?
Yeah. Good to know. Yeah, no doubt the rebuilding would take many years yet.
Depending on who you're talking to, they're still rebuilding. Something the South will rise again.
More psychological scars at this point.
Yeah.
You wish to take over the federal government, perhaps?
Yeah.
Can you speak louder into this lapel?
What? No, never mind. Uh,
That wasn't a no.
oh, yeah. The New South. Get the fuck out. I bought a
hammer
hammer and a sandwich.
That I'm like, that seems about right.
All right, I'm just gonna wait for the market to open real quick, and then we can skedaddle.
I mean, we are apparently allowing Prospero to handle tools. I'm sure this will work out fine. For us, obviously, not for whoever finds who's on the end of that hammer.
And apparently it sells pretty good in Washington, so
Andy.
shaving kit, cotton. We're not going to New York, are we?
Not if we can help it.
False
Yep.
passport seems like a problem.
Again, I don't think any of those actually do anything aside from unlock certain dialogue options and stuff.
Yeah.
Not really seeing anything here that we need to bring.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
onward.
Yeah. So we need to wait till 10 a.m. So explore. Hopefully we can find some more ways to across the world. Alright, so hotel, then ship out.
All right.
I'm thinking either 2 or 3.
Sure, why not? I mean, there's nothing of particular interest.
I imagine if we run a few errands, we might be able to get a little back. Yep, I was about to say we get some extra cash.
Hmm.
Now get the hell out. Chugga chugga.
Conroy?
Yes.
No.
America was clearly big, yeah.
Uh-huh. It's almost like it's a country that spans a big fucking continent.
Uh-huh.
Europe is creepy because it's old. America is creepy because it's big.
Basically.
The Piedmont. Like,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So apparently we're going to make some bricks here. That is a very super specific joke.
Apparently.
Alrighty. So in the morning we check the store.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Fun.
I don't see why. He's British, not Canadian.
Like, also, what the fuck have they been doing? Like, the War of 1812 was a long time ago at this point.
Maybe they're not doing well economically.
It seemed an overprotective reaction.
Mm.
I mean, in real life, it wasn't.
As is right and proper is a funny response here.
All right.
So I'm thinking we want to go with 2.
Yes.
Though we are crazy, we're not that crazy.
Battered valet.
We do the battering, but sure.
Uh, I mean, granted, we were involved in a failed insurrection, so I'm pretty sure, some scars came from that.
So I imagine we're not staying.
We are looking to leave as fast as possible, which
Yeah.
is true.
Oh no.
And what does this place have to offer?
I don't like the word everything.
I kind of like transportation.
Yeah. Transportation.
I'm guessing and from there because you don't have anything after that.
Yeah. We could probably get one. Are we wasting your time?
I almost want to, but I imagine we might get stabbed.
Let's see. Let's see how this plays out.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Are we?
Aw, he left. Oh man, new route discovered. Holy crap, where's that going?
That is going to London.
We could go to New York and just take a straight shot to London if we wanted.
I think we want to.
Alright.
You know, that's kind of the goal.
Mm-hmm. Watch we get shivved in Manhattan. Ooh,
Well,
yes. Alright. I'm seeing if there's anything that we can sell
I
in New
think
York.
this is going to be more expensive.
I mean,
Negotiate. Hey, nifty.
New York City.
Something Big Apple.
Hmm.
I mean, you're not really that close to home, but bring a Smith and Wesson back with us.
Hmm. I'm not sure what gun laws are at this point
Yeah.
in the UK.
Oh God, we have just enough money.
That is handy. All right, let's do this thing.
It ends tonight.
I'd say a few days from now, but
I seize the thief's hand.
yes.
Remember, New York is dangerous.
So are we.
So, locate a police officer or return to the hotel.
I think a police officer, since we need money.
I almost want to do one.
Well, yes, once.
I've been robbed. So we can either just go to the hotel defeated or go full Karen.
You know, yeah, commanding officer.
Karen it is then. Here,
I feel
aw,
like this is a bad idea, but
aw. Well, come on. And uh, open luggage. Off we go.
we could use more money anyway.
For the whole 97 pounds we have.
Three days left. And of course, he had to say any unexpected delay, which means there's going to be an unexpected delay.
Who would have thought? Amazing how that works. Looks at camera.
What camera?
Exactly.
There was only the wind and the time. And we could. Apparently, he's trying to get into poetry. Oh, that moved fast all of a sudden.
Ironing.
Let's go with ironing.
And we did it.
We are finally back in London on day fucking 99.
Alrighty, nearest pub or reform club?
Nearest pub, I think.
Kill a man. So comfort the master or
I
truly.
guess comforting. There's no good ending for being 20 days late.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it so nearly succeeding.
I mean, 80 days is still not much. Or rather, 100 days is still pretty fast.
Vast sums expended.
How much money?
I think we had more than enough hair's breadth escapes, though.
Damn it. So which one? I'm good with either.
I'd say the escapes.
And what will you do now?
Try again on New Game Plus. Together.
Yay!
Was that really a headline?
Apparently.
I mean that's legit. Those are the problems that we had.
Indeed.
Oh,
Almost like
geez.
America's big or something.
25,000 pounds in debt.
Because that's what we spent, and we didn't win anymore.
Yes, I know.
Rest in peace.
Men are flamboyant. Velocine sound. Comfortable. I'm like, these are very British platitudes, I'm noting.
Mm-hmm.
Steamships.
So we can try again next time we have to think something, or we could play a different game. Notably, if you try again, there are routes that are not available on the first run through.
Well, we'll make a determination about that the next time we need to fill the space, which could be next week, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And next time, perhaps I will be a little bit more.
Alrighty, so I guess we're moving on to the next thing then.
Things.
Well, I think we, lost a bit of interest once the 80 days expired. So
Yeah, obviously we can do better than that.
yes. So, Anyway, that'll about do it for the Let's Play session. So, Petty, as soon as you can do so, play us to the next segment. All right, so welcome to the topic of discussion. This week, we are breaking down the Epic versus Apple lawsuit judgment. At least it's the initial judgment. Epic Games has already said they are going to appeal.
Because corporations appealing decisions that don't suit them personally,
Well, it's not
it's more likely than you think.
Likely, but not automatic. But keep in mind, as the judge put it, this is a billion-dollar corporation fighting against a trillion-dollar corporation.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, they have the lawyer money.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. About noon Friday, the news did break that both Epic and Apple lost. Now, it's also a bit frustrating because in the rush to be first with the headlines, even though like everyone's gonna have a fucking, is gonna break the story. This was big news, far beyond the tech sector, but in the rush to get the headlines and get the clicks and the views and all that, the ball was dropped on the actual information. Because, you go and look at the headlines in the immediate aftermath, and it's like, it basically projected a big win for Epic. And to be fair, Epic did win on one count of 10. And that was on the anti-steering provisions. I think we talked about this during the recap of the trial that we did some months back, but as a bit of a refresher, what anti-steering rules are is if you set up a website, a external payments place, you can't advertise that in any fashion. So say at the Apple TOS. Mm-hmm. And that has now been nixed. It's been permanently injuncted. And Apple now has 90 days to remove all language pertaining to anti-steering rules. What this doesn't mean is that Epic Games or every developer on Earth can just bypass Apple's cut. Like, even if you do offer external payments, apparently, you do have to give 30% to Apple. Should that transaction pertain to iOS, if I'm remembering correctly. It's like, that's not a surprise. This is one of the things Epic Games didn't win. This is one of their more provocative sticking points in the trial is, they basically wanted to free ride on the iOS. They wanted to put the Epic Game Store there, sell Fortnite there, get V-Bucks there, and pay nothing to Apple. Yeah, that just wasn't going to fly. And I think Epic knew that wasn't going to fly. But yeah, it's like everything else Epic was asking for. No. The judge found that while Apple was engaging in anti-competitive behavior, they didn't break the law enough to be ruled an illegal monopolist. Mm-hmm. And it's also on the caveat that Apple's market share, it wasn't sufficient enough to declare it a monopoly. Now, what it is it's part of a duopoly, alongside Android. But keep in mind, this wasn't about establishing an illegal duopolist.
And more to the point, that's not actually illegal because there's still allegedly some competition.
Well, I mean, there is. It's not much, but there is competition. You know, if you don't want to buy an Apple phone, you can buy an Android. And yeah, theoretically, there are other operating systems.
But they're small enough market share to not really register.
Uh huh. And outside, and the broader implications of this kind of unknown. Also, other things that Epic didn't get was no, Apple doesn't have to adjust its 30% cut. Mainly because it's if I'm remembering, they've already made some adjustments. But, it's like, they're not reducing it down to 12% or whatever. But let's be clear here. Even though the judge ruled against Epic mostly, not an Apple fan. Some very pointed commentary in the ruling. Wasn't a big fan.
We don't like it, but you're still technically within your rights mostly.
That's basically what it came down to, and did note that, it's like, Apple Apple has a share of around 55% of the mobile market, or mobile game transactions market, along with extraordinary high profit margins. Because, that 30%. And, the judge also noted that not a lot of that is going back into the App Store. Like, the investments are low, and the things that get Apple to change shit, lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they don't need to do anything. It's all on the developer's part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
they literally just need to make sure it doesn't blow up.
Yeah. And a lot of this is predicated on the fact that Epic Games was fucking incompetent. I will say that right now.
To put it lightly, yes.
Yeah, because they were, they weren't actually fucking fighting against Apple's monopoly power as so much as they wanted to establish their own power in the Apple ecosystem, but by basically any means necessary, even bringing forth the ludicrously insane to the court proceedings.
Yeah. Also, their antics outside of court probably didn't help them either.
No, the judge was not fucking happy about the whole, with the unclean hands. That's the intentional breaching of contract in the whole free Fortnite campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Epic Games is going to have to, at this stage, pay back the money that they earned in that window period between, when they introduced the hotfix, and the game got kicked off the Apple stores.
Shock.
Which amounts to $12 million. I mean,
it's not that much, but it's an amount.
Yeah, it's fairly substantial. Given how brief a window we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
It really wasn't that long, and they managed to bust out. And keep in mind, the $12 million isn't the entire amount made in that period. That is the cut that would have been going to Apple regardless.
Yeah, right. The 30%.
This isn't. This isn't an extra punishment or anything like that. This is just paying Apple what it is owed. It's also Fortnite and Epic Games is, they're still off of the iOS. Like, and yes, theoretically, Fortnite could come back, but that would require it to conform to the fucking rules. And Tim Sweeney has already thrown that out. Like he said, he's not doing that. So off of the iOS, it remains. And I have been pointing out that people for some reason think that Unreal Engine is safe. It is not safe. They were going to kick it off the store, but they were stopped by a fucking injunction. I'm like, I'm not exactly sure if that's been lifted, pending, because keep in mind, all of this is pending appeal. So it could be very well that Epic Games' Unreal Engine is still there by virtue of the fact that there's going to be an appeal. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, Apple is very free and clear to keep Epic Games off of its fucking storefronts. And it doesn't really matter what, say, South Korea has done. Like, South Korea has instituted a law in regards to amount transactions, if I remember. But no, Epic Games can't take advantage of that because Apple does not want them back on their fucking store right now. It's like, and this judgment is kind of worldwide. So, yeah, if Epic Games would conform to the contract, because here's the thing, Apple, at the end of the day, does want Fortnite back on the platform. Because
again, they, in the span of a few weeks, they would have made $12 million.
Yeah, a few days.
Yeah.
Like
it would be in their best interest for it to return, but
right.
Epic wants to act like little toddlers about this.
So, as long as that stands, yeah, Fortnite's not coming back, and nothing that Epic publishes will come back. It's like, granted, nobody was really missing, say, Battle Breakers, but it got kicked off regardless. Now, I will note that it doesn't. This ban hasn't kicked over to the affiliates. Like, if I'm remembering correctly, Psyonix's Rocket League mobile game is still in the works for iOS. Like, and that's important because Psyonix is owned by Epic Games. They're a subsidiary, so that could change the calculus there, or maybe once again, Apple's just biding its time. But yeah, other things that occurred. Apple has valid security fears about opening up the iOS. This is true. Like, look, closed walled gardens are more secure than open systems. That's just a fact.
Yes. That's part of the whole, one of the biggest conflicts in computing is the balance between convenience and security.
Yeah. And Apple has the right to require its in-app payment options, but iOS developers have a right to talk about alternatives. And and one of the things that hasn't been defined quite yet is what a game is. Like,
is this where I make the "what is a man" joke?
It's no joke, actually.
I know.
I'm like, no, this was a big part of the debate that went on, you know. But the court isn't ruling on what a game is because, okay, the short answer is no because it doesn't happen. Yeah, the court doesn't need to read a conclusive definition of what a video game or game is because, by all account, Fortnite itself is both externally and internally considered to be a video game. The court also acknowledges that Tim Sweeney does believe in the larger metaverse. Like, he is entitled to believe that for whatever that is fucking worth. Short answer, not much in regards to the court.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, yeah. I guess let's see. The judge also couldn't conclude about, say, Roblox or Black Mirror Bandersnatch, and the whole itch.io kerfuffle subplot. Remember that? You know, the whole store within store that has sexually explicit content.
Fine.
Yeah. Basically, she said, given that the corresponding materials were not submitted to court, which is unusual because I thought that they had demonstrated this. I remember this coming up, but I suppose it is peripheral to the whole proceeding. Like, and also we do have a ruling on fucking Peely. Like, yes, apparently Peely can appear naked in court for he is just a banana man. I know.
I don't want to know what the fuck happened with that.
Sometimes the silliest things matter.
This was a thing that came up in the trial. There was an actual fucking argument about whether Peely the Banana, which is a recurring Fortnite character, kind of the mascot of the game, should be expected to wear clothes in court because he appeared in a tuxedo. And Epic literally argued that this was unnecessary. And apparently the judge agreed with Epic in that regard. I'm like,
God, that's the dumbest shit ever.
At least it's shit I can laugh at.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we're about to shift to the other show, and you know.
Oh God, that one's gonna be less fun.
Depends on your point of view, but it's gonna be just a much more unpleasant shade of dumb. Anyway, so that'll about do it for this installment in Fragments of Silicon. Anyway, the week ahead. So we do have a Friday show this week, and the good news is the guest has confirmed and got the time situation sorted out. It wasn't a problem with them, but on Friday, September 17th, we will be welcoming Pedro Pavla Colmenro, probably butchered that, of Lunic Games. Fairly new developer to the scene. Let me just pull up. Currently they are working on a game called Evertried, a free-flowing turn-based game where everything moves after you do. So, a roguelike. I will grant a roguelike classic. Learn to think ahead, bait enemies into traps, and develop intricate strategies to outmaneuver opponents. Once again, this is roguelike classic. Acquire skills and modifiers to unlock new powers, use them to evolve and awaken the true forms, and combine them into custom builds. Encounter other souls in the tower and discover the identity of its creator, the purpose of its existence, and the reasons behind your mysterious death. I'm like, once again, all of this stuff is roguelike stuff. That might sound I'm down on the game. I'm actually not. Because, quite frankly, I've experienced enough wacky directions in the roguelike motif that vanilla looks good right now. Because you're not getting a lot of classic strategy turn-based roguelikes right now. There's a lot more, roguelike platformers or twin stick shooters or whatever fucking weirdness we're going on this week. Now, so anyway, that is coming Friday, and on the Sunday reviews, we will have reviews of What the Golf, comedy golf game is a good way of putting it. Boulder Dash DX Ultimate Collection, or Ultimate Edition, sorry. It's the latest iteration of a very, maybe not venerated, but it's a cult classic, I'd say. Boulder Dash has been around since the mid-'80s. I remember playing Boulder Dash sometime in elementary school. Don't remember which grade, but I do remember the school computers having it. Samurai Wish, and Genetic Disaster, which is, that name doesn't really give away what it is. It's a twin stick roguelike. Yeah, I'm like, anyway, so that's the Sunday reviews, and we do presume to have a new episode of Last News Desk on the Left happening in about half an hour. Mac has not chimed in that any cancellations have occurred, so we will be on standby for that. So until then, I shall wish you good gaming.